So I
So what
watched
do you?
Dynamite this week. I thought Dynamite was pretty good. AEW is on a run of really good shows. What did you think of Dynamite this
Man,
week?
I'm watching Dynamite again. Like it was hard.
Yeah.
I was gonna do a review show and I couldn't get it watched in time. I'll start doing that this week. Actually, start doing
So
AEW reviews.
I had to teach you how to watch Dynamite on Max, and somebody had to teach me how to do that.
So
I got
I have
taught via the comment section in our from our show whenever Joe was on it weeks ago. So that's a fucking problem, by the way.
Mike.
Go
I
ahead.
got a bigger problem with that. It didn't work because I get my Max through Amazon Prime, so my
Oh,
interface is completely different.
got you.
So it's a massive problem, not an AEW problem, the Warner Media problem. That it's so hard for these apps to like communicate and like you can't watch it live. But I mean, like I figured it out. I mean, I got it. So it's like it was such a pain in the ass to watch Dynamite this week, but I'm not gonna have wrestling on Wednesdays anymore, so it's fine, not a problem
Okay.
anymore. But yeah, I'll start doing some Dynamite reviews. I really like Dynamite. I think taking a break from watching it week to week was really good for me because I
Yeah.
got to come at this promotion again with fresh eyes, and I gotta be honest with you. I liked it. I liked it
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, like this Death Riders thing is better than I thought it was. Copeland is actually doing some of the best work like that he's done in years. He's so invested and into it. He's like, he's the anti, I don't know, Malachi Black, I guess. He's actually like, trying to help people, not just being a
Yeah.
selfish putz. Like, I'm in. I'm all in. And then I got so into it, I watched Collision last night. Like,
So
it was really good.
yeah, I heard it was really good. I couldn't watch Collision because I watched Chamber and I can't do both. Like,
That makes
yeah,
perfect
I can't do both. But I found out JD watched Collision. I was like, okay, thank God. So we just divide and conquer. I watched Elimination Chamber. You watched Collision. Everybody's already heard Dynamite reviews out the ass. I don't think that many people are actually reviewing Collision. So what were your thoughts on Collision? What happened on Collision that you thought was pretty good? What sucked?
I really
And then I have
enjoyed
a question for you when it's over.
Yeah, I really like Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole, really good match, right? I think they should run that back really soon. Like work rate, like I think Collision's becoming the work rate show, right? That's the vibe that I get watching it
Yeah.
this week. FTR with Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, just a great match. You know, Dax did the babyface won't take the cheap win thing. And like they just a million kickouts, which you won't expect from AEW, just really, really fun. Like what I want from AEW. I want a bazillion kickouts. I want people just
Right.
working at a ridiculous pace. Right, main event. Will Hobbs looking good. Like I don't know, man. It was really good. The one frustration I have is that when I play HBO Max, I was just Max. It skips. I don't know if it's just HBO or if it's my shitball rural Wi-Fi, but like it skips a lot. So it actually hurts my enjoyment of watching the show because I have to like press and play and press pause and fast forward and
Right.
rewind just to get things moving. So it actually kind of takes me out of the show a little bit. But so I can't sit there and go, well, this was great, this paced well here because I wound up having to move around and skip around so damn much. But what I saw of Collision, I really liked, which is mostly just focusing on wrestling. They put Harley on commentary for a little bit. Her finishing move is now called the finishing move.
Yeah.
Stroke of fucking genius.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
there
I saw that clip on Twitter. What I like about it is like you guys didn't know the name of my finishing move, and they're kind of like, "You've never beaten anybody with it. How would we know? You're like, how would you even have a finishing move where you've never finished anybody?"
absolutely great. Nigel goes, well, I wasn't there, so you can't blame me. I know someone in the
Right.
chat says, hey, wait, not watching Dynamite. All right, go watch AEW or watch WWE, bro.
Yeah.
I said I haven't watched it, and I have been negative to the point where I got people like emailing me saying, "Hey, what's your deal lately?"
Right.
But I mean, I think
Where
the
are
last,
you getting in AEW's face, bro?
yeah,
I had comments like, "Mike, you're being weird about AEW." I was like, I don't have I like AEW, but when it's bad, I say it. When it's good, I say it. I same with any company.
I think that we saw what it could be, right? Like
Yeah.
from like 2021 to like early 2023, it was a really good company. Karina was really good. It was working, and then there was a giant albatross around the couple giant albatrosses around the company, and we seem to have worked through that. Like this MJF Hangman feud is really good. This Revolution pay-per-view show is shaping up to be fantastic.
Insane.
It's
It's going to be like I think they're going to try to break the record for star ratings.
I think so.
Legitimately with
Like
the matches that they booked. Like because I think Tony Khan understands just how negative we've all been on his company.
mhm.
The hardcores, and that means something to him. And so he went ahead and booked Revolution. Say for the sicko, say for whatever, for he's trying to impress the podcast, say whatever you want. I think he's trying to break the record for most star ratings on one show.
No, and that's okay. I think WWE can be the company that has like you said, 4 match big pay-per-views with all
Yeah.
Travis Scott and all this ridiculous shit. Where AEW can be that nitty-gritty promotion that does awesome pro wrestling,
Right.
right? And the angles are working out pretty good so far. Like, I'm sorry, Adam Copeland taking out the Death Riders is cool shit. Like,
Yeah.
he systematically destroyed all of them. He leveled the playing field with him and Moxley. And now Copeland's going to wrestle Wheeler this week on Dynamite. And that's good booking. Like, that's good,
Yeah.
solid storytelling, man. Like, are you going to get a moment like what you saw with the Chamber this week? No, but WWE's, like we just said, WWE's never had a moment like that. They never had their Hogan 96.
Right. So our biggest complaint with AEW is when they're trying to be WWE, we want them to be unapologetically AEW, and that's the Revolution card that we got. And
100%
I'm excited to watch it next week. I'm excited to review it next week because that's what this show is going to be. It's going to be an AEW Revolution show, which I'm excited about. So because I know I think there's only been like 1 or 2 pay-per-views that I've watched from AEW that I was like, this wasn't good. Right.
I agree.
And so I think this is going to rule. It's going to be one of the great pay-per-views of all time.
Agreed. Like, I'm super stoked to watch this. I think about what what Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay are going to do in that cage, and you're going to have Kenny Omega and Takeshita. Like, how is that going to be bad? How is that going to be bad? Right? Like, I don't know much about Momo Watanabe and Mercedes, but Mercedes has been pretty good in the ring lately.
I'll be honest, I don't really care about that match.
I don't either. I know people listen to the show do, so I was just waiting on it. We're not the wrestling guys. We don't pretend to be.
Yeah.
I don't care about Mariah Tony Storm. I think it's been going on for way too long, but it'll probably be violent, so I'm okay with violent.
So I was going to ask you this question, and Suit Williams, I see you in the chat. Hop in the chat. I want you to answer this question for me because I've been seeing this online, and I don't disagree with the point, but I don't think it's where I would go. Do you think that Mariah May and Tony Storm should close the show?
I beg your pardon.
Do you think Mariah and Tony should close the show? I've just been seeing some people, maybe none of them good, but I've been seeing some people say that should happen. It's not what Mike would do, but do you think that
fuck no? Like what? Huh?
That's about where I thought that would go. But that is the longest like feud that they've had for a while.
Sure.
It is popular. It is over with the crowd. Like
I didn't say it wasn't over.
Audience loves it, right?
They do.
And up until like I would say the last week or so, the Copeland Mox feud has been a bit cold. I didn't think they were doing a great job with it at all, but they've stepped up their game a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Cope is doing some really good character work. And I think Mox mutters a lot, and I don't really know what the hell he's talking about, but he's getting a little bit better. He's finding his groove now, and I think this feud, the match is very likely to deliver. But I have been seeing some of that, and I wanted your opinion and Suit's opinion. So
they closed the Australia show because it made sense, right? Suit says not a chance because
not a chance. Yeah, okay. Just
like I want this feud to end. It's been going on forever. Like this whole thing has been going on forever. I just want Tony Storm to do something else. Mariah May is fine. Like it's I just want something else in the women's title picture. I really stand by my thought a couple weeks ago that Harley should have beaten Banana Peel, beat Mercedes, and then Mercedes can move on to feud with Tony.
That was my point. Like I think Harley's gonna be okay with her. Like, she was fine. You know what I mean?
She's over.
And I wouldn't see her as like a long-term champion there because of the character that she plays. But I thought that it would have freed up Monet for Tony Storm for the big stadium show because I think that's where they need to go. But they might do all the belts at once for that match. Maybe they do that in Texas, but that Texas show is not where they thought it was going to be, and they could use a big match. So maybe they get that anyway. But
here's the thing: is AEW's not that show's not till the summer. It's currently March. So why would you buy anything for that right now, not knowing what it is? Right. The second Wembley show wound up selling pretty good, but they had to put a card together. Right.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling. I'm of the mind. This is me personally, JD Oliva speaking. I'm of the mind that a pro wrestling show should be sold on its merits, not on its novelty. Yeah. Like I think a company should have to work to sell out a show. I think it's better for WrestleMania that they had to put a little bit of extra work in with the main event to move more tickets, right? I think this here's the deal. You want to put a bunch of asses in a stadium in Texas, give them a fucking reason. Give them a fucking reason to go. Like, don't just be so entitled as to expect that you're going to do this big thing when I don't want to call them a super cold company right now because things are turning up. Like, they're not WWE.
I would say like lukewarm, like they're not cold, they're not hot, they're like room temperature. Like,
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. But I mean, like, I think they're on the ascension. Like, I think that the crowd, if you notice, moving to the smaller venues has been a great move. The crowds are no longer super cold. You've got fans that want to be there again. Like, and this is how it starts. Like, this was WCW in 95, in 94 and 95. Start small and build. Like, you want to,
which boggled my mind that they booked the Oracle in Oakland, because I saw Pearl Jam there, and like that. It says 17,000 people for wrestling. I saw Pearl Jam there. There had to be like 23,000. I'm no kidding. I was at the top of that thing. I couldn't see Eddie Vedder's face for shit in that arena, but I loved it. I had a blast. I mean, it's still Pearl Jam. So that was a huge arena. They got less than 3,000 in it. So I was like, man, they could have booked something smaller, but I think that venue specifically is like cheap now because the Warriors don't play there anymore. But
Oakland's a shitty wrestling town to begin with, though.
Always has been.
Always has been. Like, like 3,000. You said 3,000 in Oakland. I'm like, oh, well, that's all right. And it actually looked pretty good on TV too. Like, I had no idea it was that massive. To be honest, they did it. They did a pretty decent job with it.
I want to get to Lady B. She's
Lady B, our friend.
She's FGM. She's of the Fight Game Media family. Yeah.
She got a lot of.
I think the people who say that just want a women's match to end a pay-per-view, an AEW pay-per-view for historical purposes, because it hasn't happened yet in the company. There is something to that. I
can see that, but I don't think this is it. I don't think this is it.
I think this is probably, as far as like a feud goes for AEW, it's probably been one of the ones that the fans are into the most. I agree. I don't think that they could have even had that conversation about Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, which I think was the other one that people thought about. I don't think that one would have been, even though they had good matches, I don't think that would have been able to close as far as marquee goes. This one, I think people are saying, this is the chance because both women on the marquee. They're both like this feud is a marquee feud. They've already headlined before. That was an episode of Collision, though. That's not a pay-per-view. So you want to do it based on its merits. You don't want to just do it just to do it, just to check a box. You want to make sure that it's the right match to do it. And I personally don't think this is the right match to do it. Although I did really, really like the last two matches that they've had. I thought that the matches were both pretty good.
They have really good chemistry together. Yeah. They're really good together. I can see the argument. I can hear the argument. I just don't agree with it at this point.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't. It's not. Show me it'll move some numbers, and then I'll buy it.
Yeah. And I don't think that that selling it like, hey, look, now we respect women. And that's why you should come buy the tickets. When UFC brought in Ronda Rousey, they put her in the main event, not because they were trying to be diverse. We know what UFC is all about. We know where Dana White sits on things. He put her in the main event because that was the biggest draw. Like was Ronda Rousey was the person that everybody came to see. That's why she was the main event. So that's why you put someone on it last.
I get that Tony is over with the faithful, and I'm not arguing that. The thing works with the faithful, but I don't think that's why people are going to be in the arena for the pay-per-view.
No,
I don't. No. So, that's my personal.
Me either. But hey, guys, we're up against the time. JD and I are we're gonna be back on Patreon. We're gonna be doing an overtime. So Patreon subscribers, be on the lookout for that. It'll be dropping in your inbox likely tomorrow. So thanks everybody for being here. Thanks to everybody in the chat. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and head to patreon.com/the Mike and JD show. Like I said, JD's new Mid-South show is there. I did like 90 minutes on TNA yesterday, and I didn't have a lot of topics to talk about, but
I don't know how you do 90 minutes.
The chat was just lively enough that we were able to get going. So excuse me. So we had a lot of TNA talk. That show is up. And of course, my top 10 heel turns of all time is coming up. And then I solicited a Q&A for the Patreon. So I'm going to be doing some type of Q&A midweek this week. So we'll be on the lookout for that. So lots of Patreon content coming your way. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this time on the Mike and JD show. And until next time, mahalo. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry. I screwed up and pushed the wrong button. And now, until next time, mahalo.
Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you brought your A game. Made no rain from the track when we unite and spit. This isn't A game, better bring your A game. Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you brought your A game. Made